Hello. Hi. Okay. Thanks for coming over. Hello. I realized I did not address this giant blue thing on my glasses. My nose pad broke off and I need to get new glasses. And so I just put some sticky tack on there to keep them from falling down. And that's it. Please ignore. I had a really good time this month reading some Irish things. Also, a little bit of a challenging time. I'll talk about that later. But I wanted to do a little wrap up and show you the Irish themed books that I read for the Irish Readathon. It was fun. It was really fun having a themed month. Made me reach for books that I probably wouldn't have reached for. That was a blessing and a curse. I'm a really intense mood reader, and I already have other books for things that I have to read. So don't know if I loved overall having a theme, because even though it was very broad, it felt a little limiting. But also glad I read some things I read. So listen, I'm torn. But before I show you, please like, please subscribe, please come back. I miss you. Okay, I'm going to start with one of my favorites. It is a reread for me. And it is this short story collection by Maeve Brennan called The Springs of Affection, Stories of Dublin. Now, Maeve Brennan is an Irish author who moved to the States when she was a young adult, and she wrote fiction for The New Yorker, I think, for most of her life. It was incredible. I had not heard of her until I had picked up this volume a few years ago. I read it before I went to Dublin, and I really, really liked them. I remember really liking them, and so I wanted to revisit because it is wild how fast you forget. I couldn't remember hardly anything about it, and then as I was rereading it, it felt familiar, kind of like visiting somewhere you've been once a long time ago. But I really enjoyed them. These stories are melancholy, also kind of hopeful, and they feel nostalgic, even though Ireland, growing up in Ireland isn't something that I have nostalgia for. She makes you feel it. And these stories were really good. I read a bunch of short ones at the front that are just a few pages long. Really incredible. And I read one of the longer ones called A Young Girl Can Spoil Her Chances. Is the one longer one I read, about 30 pages, I think. Really, really, really recommend this collection. Or if you stumble across any of her stories in an old New Yorker magazine, read it. I will probably continue to read through these again until they're done. I don't know how quickly, slowly, when I'm in the mood. So you might see that again later. Okay, next I dabbled in some C.S. Lewis because I read C.S. Lewis every month these days. And the man was born and grew up in Belfast. So, perfect. The first one is The Last Battle. I read the rest of the Narnia series over Christmas and then just ran out of time over the holidays to read this. And then it got delayed. And I used this Irish Readathon as an opportunity to just get it done because I don't know why I wasn't possibly reading this incredible book. I love Narnia. I don't know anyone who's read it and doesn't love it. Such delightful stories. I love the end of this book, the scene where they're all running together and running. Oh, it's so beautiful. I don't want to spoil anything, but it is beautiful. So good. Oh, what did I underline here? Let me read you this one little really great line. Beloved, said the glorious one, unless thy desire has been for me, thou wouldst not have sought so long and so truly, for all find what they truly seek. If that's not tantalizing, I don't know what is. Get it? Okay, next I have another C.S. Lewis. This is a nonfiction. C.S. Lewis, An Experiment in Criticism. So some of his literary, like books about language and literature. And it was so good. Probably the third time reading it, and every time I understand a little bit more. I see it in a new light. It's so tiny and so full of really great insight. It's kind of hard to put into words. This man just loves reading and loves books, and here he talks about how we can read them well and love them well. And the podcast did it this month, which is why I did it. And their episodes are extremely enlightening, and helpful as always. So I will link those below if you want to go look at those. But Experiment in Criticism, very good. Last C.S. Lewis book, I did not read this in its entirety. In fact, this month I only really dabbled in it. Hardly read any. But this is C.S. Lewis's journal from, I think, 1922 to 1927. All the Road Before Me. You can't see that. All the Road Before Me. I've had this out from the library for probably a couple months now. It's not, his letters are very, very engaging and to kind of sweep you along. The entries are a lot shorter, and he's not talking to someone. He's just sort of jotting down what he's done that day. So they're a bit more, they don't carry you along. So I don't find myself reading these on and on and on. I kind of dip in, read a few pages, and dip out. But it is still fascinating to see the way someone lived. You get a really interesting picture when you read a diary that's like just a description of what he does on the daily. It's been fun. I've been dipping into that. Alrighty, Aphrodite. Now, the last two, I don't know how I feel about them. Edna O'Brien, The House of Splendid Isolation. I read this in undergrad. I didn't finish it this month. I read maybe half. And I just could not get into it. It's one of those books that's very fragmented, and you don't always know what's happening. And I find those books so hard to follow. Sometimes they're great. I just don't know how to read those. I might give this one another try in the future. I don't know. I've heard so many good things about Edna O'Brien, just in other Irish circles. And so I don't want to give up on her, but maybe I need a different book by her. I don't know. I just didn't love it. And maybe I just didn't get it, but... okay, the next one is That They May Face the Rising Sun by John McGahern. I have since learned that it is John McGahern. I am also only, 50 pages, into this one. And these ones were really slowed me down, these contemporary novels. It's always a risk, and sometimes I'm a little too judgy before I start, and I know that. So then I keep myself from enjoying it. The title, incredible, That They May Face the Rising Sun. But again, found it a little hard to get into this one. I haven't fully given up on it yet. I want to see how it ends, because over the past couple of months, I've read a lot of the first 50 pages of books, and that's extremely unsatisfying and doesn't give you a full picture of any work. So I feel like I'm getting a little jaded with contemporary books because I'm just so unsatisfied with the first 50 pages. But I think I need to go in for the long haul a little bit. Anyway, I'm not giving up on these, but they weren't immediate loves. Okay. I would love for someone to tell me if these books ignite a fire in their heart, and please tell me why, because that's what I need to hear. Those ones are challenging. And I kind of read them in the middle. They really, I wanted to finish them, but then I never wanted to pick them up and read them. So that kind of slowed me down. But overall, good Irish reading month. I read a lot more than I thought. Well, kind of. Okay, these barely count. I read maybe 50 pages in this month, maybe less. So really it was these three. But that's kind of good. That's kind of good. I think I was so voraciously reading in January and February that slowing down even to this felt very drastic. All right, that is it. These are the Irish books I dipped into or read this month. Some good, some flops. That's the risk when you have a theme, you know? You can't just always read exactly what you know is going to be good in that moment. Not if you're dedicated to the theme. But I am really, really glad I picked up this collection of short stories again. I forgot how much I'd loved it. So this was definitely the highlight for me. C.S. Lewis books I would have read anyway. So anyway, that's it. That's all. Thank you for joining me on this Irish adventure. And have a good day. It's very rainy right now, which feels like Ireland. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, bye. Subscribe. Mwah.